Now, I think we're live. I just reworked this the StreamYard scenes and all. It's gotten fancy. It's like they have this new scenes mechanism. Have you seen this before?
No.
Seen this before?
Captures everything. No. Oh yeah. That is fairly new.
It's like OBS
Yeah.
kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever. Hi everybody.
Hello.
Hi. We're at ArcOfAI. I'm joined with this is Simon Maple, the one, the only, my amazing friend Simon. Look, I haven't seen you in just way too damn long.
Yeah.
Way too damn long. By the way, can you all hear us? Just confirming that you can hear us. They remixed everything. It looks like it's picking up. Yeah. Okay. Comments. What's up? Hi. Good to see you. Thanks for hanging out. Good. Okay. So we are at ArcOfAI in Austin, Texas, home of the barbecue.
And we came back just now from an amazing barbecue restaurant.
Yeah, Ironworks. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Just and this is one of the other things that's really becoming very big here is AI, right? There are a lot of the there's no more. I don't know. I'm in Silicon Valley, San Francisco Bay Area. They're building, but it's inarguable that it's a little expensive there. Like Silicon Valley is what is it? Yeah, the average house is like $2 million or whatever, whereas in San Francisco it's less. So a lot of people, for very understandable reasons, have come to this fine city. It's warm and there's plenty of more housing, and so there's a lot of business out here, a lot of AI stuff, a lot of really cool stuff happening in Texas, so it's very natural. I think our friend, the one, the only, the amazing, the legendary, and friend of the show, Dr. Venkat Subramaniam, and his much better half Kavita. It's understandable that they threw that show here, kind of central in the country as well, the United States.
Nice for it. It's nice to have a show that isn't on West Coast or East Coast as well.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Although it's a bit of a pity for. I don't know if a lot of shows on the I guess Dev Nexus, sort of, but that
Yeah.
I don't know. That's still an answer. Nothing like pure play. Like I can. There was a Scala Days once in New York City, right? That was I remember that one. That happened, once. There's certainly I've spoken to a number of financial services customers in East Coast, but it's just actually rare. Just once I'd like to have a big conference in the Big Apple,
Yeah. Although it feels like from an AI point of view, certainly from my side of the pond, it feels like everything
which is where?
Which is the UK, London, just outside London.
In case people hadn't.
My New York accent isn't coming
right.
through. Yeah.
Boston.
seems to be San Francisco, New York, the two massive hubs in the US for AI, right?
Well, I don't know. So yes. Yeah. It's San Francisco by. It's not even close, right?
Yeah.
It's like 80% of all VC money, all the engineering, all that stuff is out of the Bay Area. But New York is definitely number 2, and Texas. Give it, credit where it's due, right? I mean, there's so many brilliant people here.
And we're talking Austin when we say Texas.
I'm sure it applies to larger Texas, but I'm specifically speaking about Austin right now. There's just so much business here, much of the, so many companies have established centers here as well. And, even before the virus, even before all that, I would come here all the time and talk to just incredible organizations doing cool stuff with software. So it makes sense that they'd kind of ramp up in the AI space. So we're doing this conference. This is ArcOfAI, and if you're in the AI space, you should be here. This is a who's who of great presenters and technologists. And also, I'm here serving coffee, helping out with the toilets, and that kind of thing.
And you have a session tomorrow morning. I did my session today. You're doing yours tomorrow morning.
Yeah, but I don't know that I don't know that that was intentional. I think Dr. Subramaniam just gave it to me out of charity, which is fine. I'll take it. But yeah, there's actually really good people here like yourself, doing all sorts of cool stuff. Let's talk about you, because I've just depressed myself. I met you. I don't know when, but it was you were working at the then company ZeroTurnaround.
Yeah. Did we ever meet when I was at IBM?
Oh, we might have actually.
Yeah.
Yes, because you came from that same place where a lot of the other IBMers. The
Andy Wilkinson.
Andy Wilkinson on the Spring team.
Still on the Spring Boot team. Right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Andy is. You talk about like Spring Boot is not the same. I'm not trying to say it is exactly the same.
Yeah.
But you know that people complain about your favorite open source project is maintained by like one person working their ass off in their spare time.
Yeah.
And it's like the foundational piece of the internet. What is that? Remember that diagram, the XKCD cartoon
with the tiny little block there.
Yeah. So the Spring Boot team is a bunch of people, all of whom act like that.
Yeah.
Right. They're all working 110%. Mostly, I mean, I'm certainly endlessly grateful for them, and they get paid. So there's that. A lot of them.
So would you say Andy Wilkinson is like the left pad of the Spring?
I don't.
Ecosystem.
So people like him, and I'm sure you can speak to this. People like him. There's he worked on the transaction manager for WebSphere.
Yeah, and that, so
right?
I
distributed transaction manager, JTA, right?
He used to be my team lead when I was at IBM.
Okay, so brilliant. Okay,
excellent.
Brilliant. This is a guy who's a P8 or a L8 or whatever in any org he wants to be.
Yeah,
there's no question, right? This is a brilliant person. By the way, the distributed transactions super difficult. I'm not qualified. You're barely qualified.
Yeah.
Most people not qualified.
Yeah.
Right. But he didn't do it any distributed transaction manager. He built the one that has to run on every operating system that WebSphere runs and guarantee banks and stuff like that. I mean, just totally different level of crazy, and he's the guy you go to do that. So the fact that he's on the Spring Boot team doing these most amazing things, but also in the same breath and without any fanfare, he manages Maven dependencies, or he'll work on documentation. The guy has just no ego. He just rolls up his sleeve and just
gets stuck in.
He'll just do whatever he needs to get that job done. The guy is,
I first knew of Spring.
Oh yeah.
First knew of Spring around that time when he joined, but I learned much more about it and how powerful it could be, because at the time, of course, I was working on the likes of EJB 2.1, would you believe?
Oh yeah, well that was certainly better than one.
Yeah. We're sleeping better now, but yeah, that's probably where we met actually. When I was at IBM doing, I was putting WebSphere. What was it called? It was the Liberty Profile, WebSphere Liberty Profile,
the miniaturized,
the miniature one on a Raspberry Pi. That was one of my last things I did before I left for ZeroTurnaround, where they built JRebel, which was a tool that kind of saved people from the long redeploys that happen with WebSphere and other larger apps.
Who could better appreciate that than you?
Well, yeah.
Although WebSphere Liberty, much better turnaround.
It's night and day compared to the full WebSphere.
Beast,
yeah, exactly. And I did like 6 years there, maybe.
At IBM or ZeroTurnaround?
12 years at IBM, 6 years at ZeroTurnaround.
What was the company? What was the area, the city?
Hersley.
Hersley
at IBM. Yeah. My wife still works there.
There's a bunch of people.
2 years there, maybe 23. Yeah.
There's a lot of great IBMers in the UK.
It's a development hub.
Yeah.
So it's a development lab,
people.
and I don't know how many there are now, but when I was there, it was probably like 2,500 super smart people.
Yeah.
And it was like an institution. It was like the kind of like, the Google style early stage.
If you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. Yeah. Truly. And I've seen the LinkedIn, it's kind of interesting to see people that work at this company. A lot of them end up working at that one or whatever.
Yeah.
There's a stream.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
In the Valley. And same thing. I've seen that for that division.
Mm-hmm.
Statistically, those are the people that get picked for the good stuff,
Yeah.
So WebSphere, obviously I'm not a huge fan.
Really?
But there's no denying that Pro Liberty was amazing.
Yeah.
And is amazing.
Yep.
And then you get, again, just the caliber of the people like yourself and Mr. Wilkinson. So then you go to ZeroTurnaround. What was that? What is that, first of all?
So I haven't done a ZeroTurnaround pitch in a long time.
Okay.
ZeroTurnaround, I've got to dust this one off. Hang on.
Are they still around?
So no, well they were acquired, which is why I left. But they were essentially a Java productivity company.
Right.
So one of the biggest things that they were known for was JRebel, which was essentially hot reloading of Java code live in a runtime. So for those runtimes that were just huge, like the traditional WebSphere, I heard of stories where it took
multiple minutes,
60 minutes,
an hour?
60 minutes up to 90 minutes was the worst I'd heard, which was just a recycling of the server.
You make a change, you change the HTML,
exactly
90 minutes later you can test it.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so JRebel, it did the bytecode magic, hot reloading of files, of classes as you change them in your IDE. It was at the time it was amazing. It was like magic.
Well, it is. Well, okay, but I think you're not. I don't mean to do this to you, but I think you're not doing a good job of pitching the thing that you spent years pitching.
Am I not? Okay.
Right? Because any Tom, Dick, and Harry can create a reloadable class loader.
Yeah.
It's then patching the state above the class loader.
It is absolutely patching state, but it's also doing a whole bunch of other things. So you don't realize half the time when you think, okay, I'm just going to switch this class out. But
Who
actually,
needs to know about that?
Little things like debugging.
Yeah.
Little things like reflection. Little things like everything. It starts affecting everything.
Exactly.
But
huge.
State was a key thing. Yeah, really.
That's what I'm saying. That to me, when I saw that, because I understood fundamentally, I'm like, I know how to refresh the. This is not hard. What are they doing? And you had a whole group of people, and it felt like you must have been. Some of these people must have been like full time.
Yeah.
Focused on just building these plugins and maintaining them, so that if you did something in Hibernate and you changed the class, you patched Hibernate so that it knew about this new entity whilst it was running.
And little things like if you was to move a variable, or move a field up to a different class, up to or down to a subclass or up to a superclass, it would work out what you're moving, the fact that it should still exist for that object, and then it will move the state across as well. So
it's just magic.
It really was.
Sorcery.
It really was.
And it works because you had a full team of people doing it.
Oh yeah, right? A bunch of people in Tallinn, Tartu. The number of trips to Estonia, it was messy sometimes. It was good fun though. It was
great show, great company, great talent.
Yeah.
So it was started by
Yevgeny Kabanov,
what's he doing
and Thomas
these days?
Roma. Yevgeny, I think, is the president at Bolt, the scooter.
Oh really?
company.
Okay,
yeah. And Thomas is there as well, I think.
Small world.
So yeah. But yeah,
I just deleted one of my sign in with Apple
Oh, really?
Credentials for Bolt.
Oh, really?
That's a problem.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I guess I won't be able to ride that
Not right now.
Not right now. I have to sign in again.
You'll
Yeah.
be fine. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, it's just an amazing lot.
That was good fun.
It was sold to whom?
It was sold to Rogue Wave at the time.
And did I hallucinate, or did they have PHP?
They did.
Yes,
they did.
Okay,
and they did PHP Con as well, right?
Really? Okay.
Yeah, they did a number of things. But yeah, that's right. Yeah, PHP.
Okay, and that's why I sort of like zoned out, because it offends me.
That's why.
Religiously.
Yeah. It's like you get a little jutter every time. Yeah.
It's just like
yeah.
Some people are allergic to shellfish. Okay, we have a question from the audience here, and I was wondering maybe you could speak to this while we take a brief interlude to speak to this. Okay, hold on. Ready, steady, go.
Boom.
Hi, Manish. Hey, I'm from India and I have 3 years of experience as a Java full stack developer. Could you please guide me on the key areas I should focus on to enhance my skills in this technology? Oh, welcome to the community, first of all, and then talk to the expert.
Really? The expert?
I gotta go. Look at the time.
Wow. So yeah, I mean, from a Java. Well, I'll tell you, why don't you do the Java side and I'll do the engineering
That's the whole
side.
question.
Well, no.
You didn't mention engineering.
Well, Java is engineering there, right? You do the language, I'll do the general programming. Do you see what I mean?
Could you please curious if focus in my skills in this technology?
In this technology.
Yeah.
So I would say there's 2 things that are important here. One is specifics for Java. The second is areas in and around the ecosystem that I think are super important for you. So why don't you go specifics in Java? Because I haven't kept up with Java.
Okay. So you just said in I'll give specifics, but you just said what I was going to say.
Okay.
What you just said is there's areas. That's the first point. Look at the big map of Java and figure out where the hell you are. Because I guarantee you're not everywhere, and nobody is. I don't know anybody who knows all of Java, right? We used to have a distinct profiles. You had Android now, but we had J2ME. You have server side. You have desktop, and there's still some people building desktop JavaFX style apps, but I don't know that that's the main thrust of most people's experience of Java. There's mobile. Certainly Android is, it's on the JVM, if not Java the language anymore, but basically when you learn Java, what you're looking at is server-side stuff, right? There's some exceptions, like Vaadin plays nicely in the browser, but it's still a server-side thing. So you got to learn where you are in that. And then within that, my God, you could spend decades and never, do you remember Oracle DBAs? That's a whole career.
Yeah.
Just managing one database product, right? I'm sure those skills, they carried over to Postgres, whatever, but just learning and keeping up with just the database. And so don't feel bad if you don't know everything. Nobody does. It's impossible. And in the Java space, you look at like architecture, you look at big data, you look at microservices, you look at cloud, SRE kind of stuff. You look at, I don't know, AI, my God, all this stuff. So, and then within those spaces, where do you want to be? And me, I spend all my time on Spring and all the technologies that are adjacent. So I care about messaging with Kafka. I care about scalability. I care about AI. I care about web services. I care about HTTP, anything that sits at the HTTP level. And then within the scope of those, those little fields, those playgrounds, I'm really, really interested in all the things that Java has to offer that will make it more efficient. Because the name of the game these days in the Java community, if you want to distinguish yourself, if you want to get ahead of the pack, because you don't have to prove to somebody anymore that Java can solve the problem.
Yeah,
there's no doubt. If you've got a problem you want to solve, there's probably a great library that's leaps better than whatever else is in the distinguished competition, right? It's just and a lot of that will come from Spring, shameless plug, but also just the JVM, the community writ large, Kotlin, Java, whatever. Amazing mature ecosystem. If you want to do security, the most secure stuff. If you want to do big data, the most, Kafka, you want microservice. I mean, it's all, I saw a video the other day and it's like, Java laughs in microservice, right? We speak microservice. We speak scale.
Yeah.
Right. You're good. Don't worry about that. I mean, you should learn it, but that's not where there's work to be innovated or explored. Now, the thing I've always heard people say is make it work, then make it fast, right? And Java did that. We're celebrating 30 years this year, 30 years, and it's working. We did. I can say it. We got it. We did it. Everybody, congrats! We did it. 30 years. It's working. But is it fast? And yeah, it is really freaking fast. But can it be faster? So a couple things I always talk about: the 1BRC challenge. Have you seen that? The 1BRC.
Yeah.
Or do you remember? Gunnar Morling,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
He last year, January of 2024, he asked folks, write a program to load 1 billion rows of weather station telemetry data. So city temperature in not in America, not in freedom units, but in Celsius, right? And so it's just 1 billion rows, which it's roughly 13 gigs of text. So you can't write like a naive select all or whatever, or input stream.read and then just get a 1 billion 13 gigabyte size buffer. It won't work.
Yeah.
So you have to be a little bit smart. But how quickly can you, given no framework or library or whatever, load that much data into memory, compute some statistics related to the temperatures, and then print it out and exit?
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
Well, how fast to do all
time? Yeah. Not to write it, to actually execute.
Gosh, how many?
13 gigs or about 1 billion rows.
Billion rows. It's going to be most likely minutes.
That seems reasonable. I've gotten plenty of estimates set. The fastest entries are in 1.5, 1.6 seconds.
Really?
Yeah. So when people say Java's not fast, they're just lying to you. They're just out of their minds. Yeah. I'm not saying that this is like the most self-evident, programming 101 code. There's definitely some twisted code in those first several entries there. And you can all see them. They're all in this Git repository there. But the point is you can do fast.
Yeah.
But we can always do faster, right?
Yeah. And
then what about energy efficiency? I mean, there's this great blog from 2018 that I always talk about. The Portuguese did a study looking at energy efficiency relative to different languages. Java's in the top 5 most energy efficient, and it's a virtual machine, right? C is the number 1, and it's compiled code. So Java's very energy efficient, right? What about scalability, right? You've got this non-blocking sort of I/O that you have in async await in these other languages. How do you get that in Java? It turns out it's actually easier. We have virtual threads, right? We get incredible scalability, just like Go or Node or whatever, without having to write that code. So it's also very scalable, but it's still, can we be better? Surely.
Yeah.
Right. So what about AI? Right now we're we have these TensorFlow, things like that. We're working with vectors. How can we optimize for that? And we've got the vector API, which is a preview feature in Java. Lets you work with specialized hardware for computation, right? Amazing. And then we have Project Valhalla, which gives you value types. You get cache line hits. You can densely pack, like you can have imagine like a list of int.
Yeah.
Not a list of integer, int.
Yeah.
Right? So that all the ints are sitting in just like an array. They're nicely densely packed and they fit in the cache.
Yeah.
So that way you don't have all these hits.
Yeah.
Right now, as soon as you start doing any kind of high performance computing and you auto box into integer or capital L long or capital D double, it's over, right? Java is not the right way to do that, right? So you invariably, all the high performance code in Java ends up becoming arrays of floats, arrays of longs or whatever. And it's not the way it should be.
Yeah.
So Valhalla will unify those two worlds,
Yeah. But I'd say, when you mentioned a ton there, right? And it's like no one can do all of that.
No, but
I think
get good at this stuff. Understand how to wield it, and you will make a lot of people go, "Okay, you're hired."
Yeah, and I'd say focus on what you're passionate on as well, right? If there's an area of all of that you're passionate on, go deep in it. Go super deep in it. You can't go super deep in everything, but go super deep in certain things that you're super interested in, whether that's Kafka, whether that's whatever it is. And I think also, with one exception, AI. Always do AI.
Oh yeah, that too.
Always do AI.
And Redis.
Yeah.
There's always a use for Redis, No, 100%. The AI stuff is money these days. It's I mean, there's every application. There's something there. They say specialization is for insects, and it's for ants. And I kind of think about ants are awesome. They're actually part of a hive, so everything gets done. You can be specialized at your thing. It's not like the other things don't get done. It's just you're focusing on yours. You're working a team. Software is a team sport. I don't know. Specialization may well be for insects and for ants, but it's not the worst comparison. So anyway, do that. Java's, you'll like it. The JVM is pretty great, and the reason it's great is because you meet people like Simon here. So back to the story. So ZeroTurnaround.
Where were we? ZeroTurnaround.
Yeah. I'm a huge fan. And
they got sold.
Right. And
then that's when I then thought, let's look around. Let's try and do something completely different with my career.
No, we're not. Nobody cares about your.
We're not done.
We're not done. I'll tell you when to talk.
Okay, go on.
Sorry.
Go on.
Okay, you were still at ZeroTurnaround.
Yeah.
And because it was like 7 years, right?
Yeah.
And I was, bumping into you at airport lounges for most of that.
So true.
And you and Oleg, our mutual friend Oleg Shalajev. Did I mispronounce that badly?
You did, but that's fine. Shalayev. And do you know what? I almost certainly mispronounced that as well, so that's fine.
Sorry, Oleg. He's been on the show too. Wonder why he doesn't call. Love that guy. He's so great, but I'm an idiot, so I don't know how to. Actually, how do you pronounce your last name?
That's what my last name.
I don't want to. Is it like the thing in Canada? The syrup?
Yeah.
Maple.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. How else would you have said it?
I don't know. I'm just. All right. I trust nothing. I assume nothing about other languages. You all cheat and Scrabble in the UK. All those extra vowels
with those. Yeah. With those UK English words.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, so anyway, you started the Virtual JUG.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I did.
Huge, right?
Yeah.
And also, I mean, you two became, in my mind at least, and maybe I misremembering.
We joined.
I mean, you're synonymous with the community for decades there, right?
Yeah.
I just remember your two happy faces.
Yeah.
Oh, and speaking of a happy face. Okay. So just an incredible experience. That ZeroTurnaround stuff. We talked about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
To the extent that people were running Spring apps on a WebSphere or even a fully loaded Tomcat, that was a valuable tool, right?
Yeah.
Because by the time I think I was really sort of paying attention to it, we had Spring Boot, and the whole point is public static void main is pretty quick. But it's not everybody that can do public static void main,
Yeah.
And there's surely, like if you're doing a really complicated Hibernate app or whatever, I just thought that was such a cool little magic trick, It was such a hard thing to get right, but you all did a great job.
And the Virtual JUG was something we created just in the last year, maybe, or a couple of years.
It feels like more
ZeroTurnaround. I don't know, it's 10 years old now.
Only 10.
Only 10. 17, 18,000 people on the Virtual JUG user group. It's amazing how.
It's amazing. So talk about that. What is that? Why is that? And this is before the pandemic, by the way, folks.
It was
a boon.
I think it was 2015 that we created it, and we wanted to create a Java user group that people, wherever you lived, anyone with an internet connection could have access to it, whether you just weren't close to a Java user group near you, or whether you were and you just wanted additional sessions.
Right.
So we, and one of the nice things, of course, we could just go and ask. You've been on the VJUG loads of times, and you actually hosted as well a couple of times.
Yeah,
I think, right?
I'm happily honored.
And it's like, we can kind of like ask people, from all over the ecosystem, and it's a small amount of time out of their schedule, because there's no travel, there's nothing else like that. It's just a case of hopping on, doing a session, engaging with the community.
You did 24-hour ones too, though.
My God, we did a 24-hour conference a couple of times, I think.
Yeah,
2 or 3 times. It's wow, that was a tough one.
Yeah, those 24-hour sessions are the stuff of legend. And you and Oleg did some of the
Roberto Cortez, and a bunch of other people, Ivan Ivanov, and
Oh, by the way, okay. For people who want to learn Spring online, hey, look, normally I would just tell you to go to spring.io/guides and get the bits there. They're free. It's a free 15-minute guided, focused introduction to all sorts of stuff. But also on this very channel, the one, if you're on YouTube, youtube.com/@coffeesoftware for everybody who's not on YouTube right now, watching via Twitch and Twitter or whatever. Go there. There's I just uploaded a 2-hour or whatever, something like 2 hours end-to-end tutorial. Just watch that. Just do a kata, right? Just do that. Follow me, and I promise you'll understand, and you'll have a lot of moving parts that work for you. And the code is there, and you can. It's good. I'd love to, just ping me on the channel. Put me in the say hi in the comments. One of us will see that, and maybe we can help if you get into trouble. So there's that, and then hi guys, greeting from Medellin. Colombia. By the way, have you been to Medellin?
I haven't, but I know someone well from there.
That is
who runs AI Tinkerers community.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been doing a few sessions with them recently.
Such a beautiful city.
Really?
I've only been there once.
Yeah.
And I would go back in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I'm a stupid American, you know. I don't know anything. And I travel the world and I try and keep an open heart and an open tummy wherever I go. And that has served me well. I make great friends all over the world, and you are one of them, of course. But I'm just saying, I was extra well rewarded for my openness.
Yeah.
In Medellin. Oh my God, it's just so mind-numbingly beautiful. It just the mind boggles.
What's the food?
Food is great. I mean, I just think, I don't know,
barbecue style or
no. I mean, I don't know. It seems like there's bits that seemed uniquely Medellin or Colombian, bits that seems like they had some influence from Brazil, some that had from northern, like south of the United States, but north of South America. It's very confusing, right? And it was just a great. Oh my God! But also that the food is not the thing that I remember, although that was great, right? It was, first of all, the great weather, which reminded me of my hometown of LA, Los Angeles. And then second of all, coffee.
Yeah.
Coffee is a thing. You can walk around. Well, first of all, it tastes delicious, but also you walk down anywhere. There's coffee shops everywhere with cool people with their laptops doing cool stuff.
Yeah.
Just this incredibly cool vibe. I just love it. I just love that city. I couldn't believe that was the only time. When I was there, I was like, I have to come back here.
Yeah.
I was ashamed of myself that I hadn't been there.
You had to leave.
I was like, just the only other place that I had that, like, I've got to be the place I want to go back, and it's stuck with me. Ever been to Mauritius?
Yeah. Had my honeymoon there.
You what?
Had my honeymoon there.
That's your honeymoon?
Yeah. Well, I did 3 weeks honeymoon, 1 week in Mauritius. Yeah.
So it's that beautiful. It is that beautiful. It is It's so beautiful that he flew it's a 12-hour flight. Yeah. It's a 12-hour flight to South Africa, and then you got to go 4 hours off the East Coast there from Cape Town.
I can't remember. I think it was direct, but yeah.
Oh, maybe, yeah. That's a schlep, okay? That's not an easy flight. Worth it, though.
Yeah.
I got there, and I was like, I saw the photos. I thought they were all photoshopped.
Yeah.
It's actually more beautiful. It's just beautiful, you know? It's actually just stunning. So another place, there's some places like that. Anyway, all that to say, hi from paradise. I'm jealous. Okay, so you follow the channel, like the topics, working as a full-stack Java and Angular developer for 5 years. What would you recommend to improve? Well, I think we just answered the same question we just got. Spring.io/guides if you're looking about learn about Spring. And what about you?
General Java books. I always like the Martin Verberg and Ben Evans. Which one's that? That's the
Clarity guys. Right?
Yeah, that's. Oh God, I can't remember the name of that book now.
Martin Verberg and
Martin Verberg and Ben Evans.
Google lovely chaps. Look for that. VER. How do you spell Verberg?
VER.
So it always. I know it when I see it.
BURG, I think it is.
Okay, that sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah. Martin with a J as well. MARTIJ.
Oh right, yeah, that one.
That's the one.
Just they've forgotten more about Java than I'll ever know. And I'm a big fan of Thinking in Java from Bruce Eckel. It's an oldie. It hasn't really been updated for the latest and greatest. But if you don't know anything about software and your first steps in Java, you're in the best hands, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. So thanks for the great questions. By the way, I just have to thank you for this.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
So ZeroTurnaround, the virtual jug. How many? 20,000 you said or whatever.
Just under 20,000 people. Yeah.
Good on you, man.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Had this massive ramp up, and then we kind of like went a little bit stale, and then it's kind of like growing again now. So we handed over to new, fresh owners.
I thought I understood you maybe just sort of like took your foot off the acceleration during the pandemic because everybody was online.
That's exactly it. And we didn't want to take over, existing jugs.
Yeah.
We wanted them to continue to flourish. Yeah. But yeah.
And that has worked, by the way. Those existing jugs.
They're doing it a lot more now as well, aren't they? The
online, but also hybrid.
Yeah.
Which is convenient for like us. I used to have to get on a plane and go to these places. Now I can, like during the pandemic, I was really enjoying that.
Yeah.
I never. Have you been to the the Ivory Coast?
No,
I have
I
never.
haven't.
I would love to. I'm sure there's great food there,
Mhm.
but I got to do a presentation online and places in the Middle East that I don't think I would have gotten the budget to go to.
Yeah.
But I would love to, and just so many cool people out there.
And actually, one of the things that Virtual JUG is doing now is helping those other Java user groups by streaming their sessions across the Java user group, across the
so you give them an
audience
amplification.
as well. Exactly.
So they don't even have to bootstrap by having this account or whatever.
No, they can just use both.
I love it. I love the Virtual JUG.
Yeah.
So that's what is that? virtualjug.com.
Yeah.
VIRTUAL.
Actually, I'm not even sure. Actually, I think the best one to go to now is just meetup.com/virtual jug.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay, so meetup.com virtual, and that's Virtual JUG. Yeah, meetup.com. Don't they like shut down or privatize the page or whatever if you don't like keep it tend to it or whatever?
Yeah, possibly.
So,
Now it's rolling again. It's probably okay. But
don't let it lapse.
That's another good place actually for learning Spring as well as general Java.
True, and Kotlin and AI.
Kotlin, yeah.
Meetup. Just look for your local resources, and if you can't find one, then join Virtual JUG, and you'll learn something somewhere.
Yeah.
So anyway, huge fan. I've done a few presentations on the Virtual JUG over the many years.
Yeah. You were one of the first, I remember.
I was very honored. Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of the last. No, I'm just kidding. One of the worst.
Beautiful spring.
Spring something. That's the same
what,
talk.
What was the original one?
I don't know. It's probably the same. I'm still doing the Beautiful Spring, right?
All right. Okay.
Yeah. I was but you're right. I did one of those very early presentations in 2013, 2014.
Yeah.
No, you did it in 2015, so it would have been just slightly after.
Yeah.
But I did a talk with my friend Phil Webb, the co-creator of Spring Boot, who I know you met, but for the audience, exposition. Okay, that's what they call that in the old showbiz jargon, is exposition. Phil Webb is the co-creator of Spring Boot, along with the good, the great, the inimitable, the amazing Dr. David Sire. And Phil and I did this. We did back in 2013 and 14, and then a little bit. We showed this brand new, then nascent Spring Boot thing. What's Spring Boot, right? And we did this demo, and then we finally got a chance to revisit it 10 years on. It's been 11 years now, right?
Yeah.
And we just passed, actually, today, as we record this.
Oh, wow.
1 April.
Yeah.
1st of April. April 1st. Is April Fool's Day? Sure. But it's also the 11-year anniversary of the 1.0 GA release of Spring Boot 1.0.
Wow.
Right? Exactly. Released this day, 2014. And so Phil and I did this presentation a decade plus ago, right? And I would have said, if you had asked me yesterday, I would have said 10 whole years. But today it's now 11 exactly years since the 1.0 release. And we did this presentation, and we finally got to go to the San Francisco Java user group in January and take that exact same code, modernize it, kind of iterating, okay, let's move it up to 1.1, 1.2, move to Spring Boot 2.x, and adding new features as we go. And then finally we get to like 3.4, which is the current GA version, That's a weird talk.
Yeah.
It's but for the grace of virtual, Java user groups, So we did that in the San Francisco Java user group.
That's so cool.
And that was like, it's not like it's purely for the retrospective.
And how hard was it to go from the original version up?
Not so bad because we don't break things wantonly. It was more about adding.
Yeah.
Accreting new features as opposed to taking existing.
It wasn't as much migration as it was. Oh, now we can do this.
Yeah, enriching.
Yeah.
And one of the things that was kind of interesting. Some things have changed for the better. One of the things we did was in the old days we had this. Getting messages. One of the things that we did was we had this this thing that pulled the Spring Boot actuator, the HTTP endpoints that give you the observability of the system. We had this thing that pulled the Spring Boot actuator that ran on a Raspberry Pi.
Nice.
So it's a thing sat off to the side, pulling the Raspberry Pi, and if the actuator said that the service was sick, then the Raspberry Pi, which was connected to a coffee machine, would start the coffee machine, right? The idea being that it's going to be a long night, you're going to need some coffee, right? And eventually we changed it to have like a danger Will Robinson sound that kind of played, but same idea. And that was fun, but that was also using a full bore JVM on Raspberry Pi, which you could do back in 2014.
Yeah.
But now GraalVM,
Yeah. Of course.
it's trivial. It's
Yeah.
tens of megabytes of RAM. It's nothing,
Yeah.
So anyway, all that to say, Java user groups, they're so good. So I can't,
Yeah,
and that video is on this channel, by the way.
Mhm.
The San Francisco Java user group was nice enough to let me take that video. Peter Humphrey, Peter, he's great, right? Him and the rest of the team there, they were
ex-Spring, of course, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, one Spring, always Spring.
Always
right?
Spring, yeah. Through and through.
But that meant a lot. That was like that video was Phil and I. I get my point is we could do that for the Virtual JUG, but it's not practical for him and I to lug a coffee machine around the world and both of us to take a flight to do this talk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Virtual Java user groups are the most valuable thing. I mean, I got my start. Did you go to DevNexus a couple weeks ago?
No, not this time. I went a couple of years ago. I haven't been for a while, but yeah.
I was there and I bumped into Srinivasa Ataluri, who was the bloke that ran the Phoenix Java user group in Phoenix, Arizona, when I lived there for 5 odd years, and I left there in 2009. So this would have been sometime before that. And I was just sat there in the lobby talking to James Ward, who I met because he presented at that very user group. And I'm sitting there talking to him. We're just laughing about this, that, and the rest. And here comes Srinivas Ataluri walking through the lobby. And I'm like, Josh? And like, oh, dude, like I haven't seen this guy in decades. You know, again, just actually, I guess the message here is go to your user group. Because of that user group, because I met James at that user group, we kept in touch. Just today, a video went out on the AWS YouTube channel with him and me showing Spring AI and Bedrock.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. The user groups are great. So when you did that Virtual JUG, that's like a hug. That's an embrace of the idea of the Java user group and bring it to those who don't have their own thing locally. So valuable. Okay. I just cannot be more grateful for that. So moving on, you left ZeroTurnaround and then went off to Snyk, and I've never understood how to pronounce it.
Snyky. SNYK. Do you know what it stands for?
Not like sneaky?
No. It stands for. It's an acronym.
Super.
Not. So now.
So now you.
Yeah.
Know.
So now you know, because the idea was it was a dev security company. Is a dev security company. I know. Is that hurting now? Is that painful? It's a dev security company that identifies originally with its original product, which looked for vulnerabilities in your third-party libraries. It looked through the dependency graph, the whole dependency tree, and identified where your vulnerabilities are, and just showed you them and what the fixes were for them. Which back in the day was like
it
was hard. It was hard. It was you going through vulnerability reports from the security team trying to identify things that are happening in production and how do you fix it? And
you just said the right. That's just it. That's assuming you have a security team. Which you need. A team, as in a team of reindeer and a team of security people, right? Like you need a team. It's just a full-time job for many people. And so to automate that and federate it and scale it like you did, super valuable. I got to tell you, sometimes I got a little. You're no longer there, right? So I can be honest with you. Sometimes we thought maybe some of those vulnerabilities were a little really vulnerabilities,
Yeah.
But
do you know?
Most of the time you're right.
Do you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes these vulnerabilities can be worse.
Oh yeah, and we paid due attention.
But
sometimes it could be nothing. Like it was yes, there was that theory, but nobody would. Yeah. It's like there's a cliff, and like that cliff is super dangerous. People shouldn't drive off it. And there's a sign saying don't drive off of it.
I do think sometimes, like, one of the things that we always try to avoid is hyping up vulnerabilities too much.
You did good, yeah.
If it was like there's a fine balance between you want to make noise to make sure people are actually fixing vulnerabilities if there are vulnerabilities there. You equally want to make sure people aren't overly rotating on things that actually aren't going to be a problem. And sometimes there's a tricky line. It's like, no, it's never perfect. And
it's always better to err on the side of caution.
Yeah.
That's why we all understood. I understood. I know.
Yeah.
Like, it's always good to have more than less. But especially in this, oh God, now you've got whole nation states doing bad things with your software. If you're not careful, you got like, you just, I don't know. When I learned software, we just talk all these people learning, asking us about resources to get started in software.
Yeah.
Maybe the thing we should have been stressing is learn security.
Yeah.
Get that right yesterday.
Yeah, from the ground up.
And don't wait until that's not a thing you want to retroactively add.
No, you're right. You're right.
Up front, maybe you don't have to learn. Like you can't learn. That's why you want a team. There's a whole group of people.
Yeah, I think it's like a good thing is not necessarily being an expert in security. It's understanding good hygiene, like security hygiene and best practice. Like you don't need to know what all of these specific vulnerabilities and things like that are. In some cases, you do like SQL injections and whatever else it is, like the basics. But you don't. People can dedicate careers to this. So understanding the hygiene, like, okay, you need to run these tests here. You need to be mindful of third-party vulnerabilities. You need to be mindful of your vulnerabilities in your first-party code, doing SAS testing, all that kind of stuff, and understanding, okay, what a bad vulnerability looks like, and then how to fix it. That kind of stuff.
100%, and it's hard, and it's something where something like Snyk, is invaluable, right?
Yeah.
And I loved working with you. We didn't get to work as much, because first of all, 4 years of that was like the pandemic, and
that's true. That was when I slowed down my travel. Actually,
I mean, me too. Grounded me, and actually, I wasn't sad.
Mine never picked up too much after that, because I guess my role kind of like turned into more of a manager of the team role.
Yeah.
I helped grow the team, and then it was kind of like the team was mostly going out, and I was doing little bits, more probably on the larger security conferences versus the
we didn't
more
get to bump
dedicated
into
job.
each other.
I
That's
know,
why
it's sad. It was sad.
It was sad for me. I'm sure you were like, oh, happy days.
It was.
I'll never have to see that guy
sad.
again. No, I'm just. I really enjoyed. I think about you a lot because you put out this tweet, whatever, a decade ago, something to the effect of, they say travel will be glamorous. They say it'll be fun, and it's like you just some disused piss black cup of coffee,
some
swilled.
bad instant coffee on the side of a
that spoke to me, because I understood. Like 90% of travel is just dealing with other people's terrible coffee, and trying to like keep your eyes open and making sure you don't have too much bloodshot in your eye. It's sure the community and the people and sometimes the places are amazing, but don't tell me it's free.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that. There's a
don't tell
cost.
me I'm lucky.
It's work at some point, Well, I am lucky.
Well,
but you know what I'm saying. But also you pay. Everybody pays for something,
Yeah. It's not quite as shiny as it looks. Yeah.
Oh man. So I think anyway. So you understood. I imagine having those people work for you. I'll bet they had in you somebody who could appreciate just how awful it is to be on the road all that much.
Empathy. But it was great. I mean, I love while I love like that kind of advocacy side of my role, I absolutely love working in a great team.
Yes.
It's like to build a team around you, which is filling people, or filling the team with people who are better than you, is what I always try and strive for. And so it's like, working in those teams is always amazing.
You have to strive. If I was to build that, wouldn't even have to try. It's a low bar. Low bar.
I think everyone knows, Josh.
Everybody would be better than me. I don't even have to look for it. That's so cool. I mean, so what made you leave They didn't get acquired.
No, Snyk. Right? I think they're on the road to IPO. They're doing well. Do you know what I missed? I missed that startup vibe. I missed that startup feeling. So I kind of left Snyk. Took a few months. Was looking for a startup, and lo and behold, Guy Poe, who was the co-founder at Snyk. He the bug bit him again, and he wanted to start up a new company. So he started up a company called Tessl, Tessl, and I was the founding devrel for Tessl as well.
And what does Tessl do? Oh, that explains why you're at the AI show, which is not the security show.
No.
Okay, go on.
So Tessl. So I guess like the amount of amazing stuff that's come out with so many AI assistants, helping people with generating code, helping them throughout the SDLC. Essentially, we think it's magic. We think it's amazing. We love it.
Did you just shortcut software defined lifecycle?
SDLC. That's what it is.
Is that what the kids are saying?
Well, I've been saying it for. Do you know what? I've probably been saying it since no, it's probably IBM that.
Borland. I remember Borland had
probably
software-defined lifecycle. I don't know that I've ever seen the acronym.
Yeah. You've never said or seen?
Both?
No, you must have seen SDLC.
I don't know that I have. It just feels very strange.
Really?
Maybe I've read it and I just don't know that it sounds natural rolling off somebody's tongue.
Am I going mad?
mad? I was stuck on that.
Tell us in the comments, is SDLC a thing? I'm sure it's a thing.
I bet the kids know. I don't know.
The kids will know. The kids will know. But
okay. Anyway, go on. I'm sorry.
But yeah, one of the things that I kind of really wanted to do was, one of the things that I saw from Tessl was.
What does Tessl refer to?
Tessl is tessellations.
Okay.
Because it's about building. We are referring to as tiles, but software components generated with AI. But think about it as not just an AI assistant, or not just something which is almost like bolting AI on. But think of it completely reimagining how software is built today, right? So you're not necessarily saying I'm gonna write some code. You're actually saying I want to build a specification. That's your. It's a spec-centric world. That's your new source of truth.
Product. Okay.
And there we go. It is. See?
It is what?
SDLC.
Is what?
Is a thing.
It's a thing.
It's a thing. It's a thing, right?
Well, I mean, I think I had just finished saying that I don't have you shouldn't have particularly high hopes for me. So, proven.
Yeah.
Okay, point made. Thank you,
but
Percy, for helping me grow as a person. I'm sorry, man. I'm so stupid. I didn't know that SDLC. I knew what it must have referred to.
Yeah.
That's what Borland. That's the ship that Borland sank in, right? Like they went full SDLC.
But I always look at that. I always look at the DevOps cycle as the SDLC.
Yes, but do you remember?
The DevOps figure 8.
Yeah, I get that. That's the right way to think about it. But do you remember Borland went from IDE to like that, and we never heard from them again?
Yeah, that's true.
It's like the Bermuda Triangle of software companies.
Just even mentioning it will probably put a company out of business.
Anyway, I'm sorry. Carry on.
But yeah, thinking about this from more of a spec-centric point of view. So the thing that lasts far longer is the specification, not the code. The code is then generated, tests are generated, the docs are generated from those specifications. So is this ready today? No, there are a number of things that need to happen in order for that to be a viable path.
Vibe path. Yeah.
A vibe path.
By the way, can people hear us? How's the audio? We got people in the background screaming. There's music above us, but we got the noise cancellation and these little things.
These are cool. I like these. I'm definitely gonna get a set.
Well, hold your wallet.
Let's see first.
Yeah. Give us some thumbs up or downs or sideways or whatever. Anyway, so yeah.
So yeah, it's a bit of a paradigm shift. So, I mean, developers need to think about it. Need to think about life completely differently. Think about how they become creators in the spec world, because the idea of this is like anchoring itself, hopefully from our point of view, in the future, whereby developers don't care about the code anymore. They care about the creation, the curation of these specifications, the modularization of these apps via specifications in their various modules. Now, a specification, we believe, is going to be something along the lines of a list of capabilities, a list of test cases for those capabilities, so you can effectively say, this is what I want, and these are the types of tests that I want to validate that the generated code is satisfying these capabilities with these tests, and a set of APIs that this module needs to export. It needs to export essentially to be callable and work in this system.
Is it so? You're not talking about literally open AI API or whatever. Like is it a new thing or?
We're not going to be.
Or is it known only to the model and you just trust that it's going to maintain it?
We don't want to build our own model because we believe there will be a future where these models will be good enough to do some of this.
Okay.
But we believe you actually need a framework. So you can't just say, build me this thing, it will build it, and then you just trust it. there needs to be some iterative process whereby you're passing a number of scripts to these various models.
Right.
They produce code back. You understand, okay, based on this, these various tests are passing, these various tests are failing. Let's work with the failure tests. Pass that back. Do we need to regenerate the test? Do we need to regenerate the code?
Right.
And it builds together. But it's still, there's an amount of autonomy in this, but it's still that attended process where the developer is effectively directing this process, this new workflow.
Right, orchestrating it.
Yeah, they're still in control is the key.
So it's agents with humans.
Very much so, yeah.
Can you imagine a agent? Can you imagine like a human agent with intelligence?
Like 007.
Dum, dum, dum. No, that sounds really cool. I mean, devil's advocate.
Mm-hmm.
What happens to that moat when, like, okay, have you tried the new Gemini 2.5 Pro or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
That it can do in one shot. It can build things that were just impossible in every other model 2 days ago or a week ago, whenever it came out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's getting to the point now where, like, I don't know, like what it's I agree that we need to build something. There needs to be an artifact that defines what we're looking for. But what's the script bias if I can, in one shot, get a perfect representation of that spec?
Great question. So the key thing, I think, is even though we can get these things generated, we still need that control over versioning, that control over change, that control over gradual build.
Evolution.
Evolution, yeah. And so we still have this, I'm going to say SDLC again, but we still have this life cycle for the code, for the application. We still want to be able to start sharing. We still need that infrastructure enabled for all of that to happen. And that's what we want to be able to, help provide as part of this.
Are you the like model hub or whatever, or artifact hub?
Well, I think we don't want to be that one tool that does everything. We want to be able to be pluggable. We want to be able to find other tools that can kind of like work in this space. So
would you hang off of a GitHub or?
Possibly, yeah. But I mean, let's say for argument's sake, you've got an AI test tool, an AI documentation tool, maybe some super cool models like Poolside or like you say, Gemini 2.5. We don't want to be able to say, hey, we do that, don't worry about it. We want to pull these models, find the best of breed, and put all of that in. So,
which is mark my words, well, 6 months from now, everything we're talking about will be completely irrelevant.
Oh, yeah.
Best of breed,
yeah. But I think, the rate at which these things are changing, we want to be able to have a greater power as a result of these models, etc. building. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm excited.
Yeah.
So I like the idea that you're building this in such a way that it hangs off the edges of other things, because that's where you want to build. I was a little worried.
We want to partner with all these other all these other AI tools, right?
And to the extent that I wonder, like, I haven't done the ideation that you have. Is there some story where that goes down to like a Kubernetes? Is that too low?
I think the interesting thing is one of the cool things that we're looking at doing is separating what we would call the what and the how.
Sure.
So if you was to think about an application
like a 4GL for produced art apps.
Well, think about it in this way. If the implementation is very much the how something is built.
Yeah.
So there's an amount of kind of like decisions that you would make about how to deploy something, what language it should even be in. There's like context that is required for that. The what is more about the exactly what you want that application to do, the requirements, the capabilities for that application. You should be able to say what the application should be able to do without any need to describe how it should be implemented or deployed.
So it is like a 4GL.
Kind of.
Yeah. Okay. Higher level. What, not how. Okay.
But saying that, we do want, from the specification point of view, yes, but also we do want to be able to say at some point, let's start adding some context. And that context, you might say, here's my specification, but actually one bit of context says I want it to be written in Java. Another bit of context says I want it to be written in JavaScript. Another bit of context says I want a mobile app. So what you might actually have then is one specification and then multiple
views or
Yeah,
flavors or
essentially.
interpretations of.
Yeah, based on the implementation you need. Now, versioning that could be an absolute nightmare. Because what do you version? Are you versioning the implementations? Are you versioning the spec? What's the relationship between them, and so forth? As the spec changes, where do the how do you mark the implementations by the? So there's a little bit of craziness there as well.
So these like anchors, you could say, okay, given all the possible paths by which or in which you could, through which you could proceed to interpret this spec, you're anchoring. I want you to stay in the Spring Boot lane, or I want you to stay in the Kubernetes lane, or whatever.
Yeah, and that's for a specific implementation. So if you have a Spring Boot stack already, and you just want to say, look, I want to build this new feature, this new service, and I want it to be a Spring Boot service.
And I don't want to learn how to operationalize Python, for example.
No, exactly. Yeah, so you say this, like context-wise, I want this to look like this, and then bang, it creates it out in that kind of a space.
So okay, I think I've. Oh, it's gone. Damn. I thought I had it. No. Okay, so let's say I've got it.
Okay.
But let's say I've got it in my head. What's the how do I start?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a sign up? Is there a thing?
There is a waitlist right now.
Okay.
Tessl.io.
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 Let me do the thing.
Yeah. Look at that.
It's not pornography. That's a website.
No, that's good. That is good.
Always check.
But there is a sign up there. We also have AI-native-dev.io.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, go on. There it is. Oh, look at that.
Okay.
Tessl.io.
AI-native dev.
That's it.
Ooh, it's Alex. You are crazy, man.
We're trying to build that. Do you know what? This is a Framer site right now. I don't know if you've used Framer in the past.
There's billboards in San Francisco. It's on my list.
Yeah. We wanted to create a dev site. It's not very devy just yet, but this is our temporary site. We're actually doing a custom build right now to make it a fun dev site.
It looks nice.
It does. Oh, it looks very pretty. It's nice. We have a podcast here. We have a conference. We have that is me. Look, we have a bunch of stuff, some news and all kinds of stuff up there. We're also Patrick Dubois. You know Patrick,
of course, DevOps luminary.
One
of the ultimate.
He's writing a whole bunch on that as well right now, and talking about the pillars of DevOps, the pillars of AI native dev and things like that. So yeah, there's a lot going on there right now. It's busy.
Deep bench.
It's busy.
Deep bench. That's I'll be paying attention to that. If you got people like yourself and Patrick and others, that's center of gravity in the space that I'll be paying attention to.
Yeah.
Super interesting, my friend. How do I get on the wait list? Okay, we'll talk later.
Yeah. Just ping me. Simon at Tessl.io. Yeah. Ping me.
Okay. Yeah. And then thank you for that. Where do I guess you just answered the question. Normally they end. I swear this is not a coincidence. This is a coincidence. Normally at the end of my thing. Normally when we kind of wind down, I have 3 questions. Are you on the internet? Do you want to be found? And if so, where do people find you? You just gave away your email address.
I am on the internet. Yeah.
I
don't know where. I don't know.
We just did those coordinates.
I guess I'm on Twitter. I'm not massively active on Twitter though these days. It's just a place on the internet. LinkedIn.
It's not even. It's kind of a.
I'm on Blue Sky. You can chat to me on Blue Sky.
Wait, LinkedIn that's an S-tier network, right?
Yeah.
So what is
Simon Maple?
Just LinkedIn.
I think with a dash.
Sorry, folks. Just making sure I get this right.
Let's see if that's right. Oh, that's the other Simon
Clearly
Maple.
not
with a dash.
This guy looks intense.
Do you ever reach out to people who?
Dude, I am
called Josh Long as well. I pinged him and I said hey, and we connected.
Okay, wait. Actually, that's the wrong one. Wait. So, how do I find you?
This one, no?
It's the wrong account. I have somehow 2 accounts. One that is because I think I just signed in with Google at one point.
Is this like having 2 passports?
I wish.
Yeah.
Wait. So. Oh, it's not. It's not with a /. Santa Maria. Is that you?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay. Are we connected?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, that one, no. That one, yes.
Yeah, this one's wrong. This one's a lie. I don't know. Look, I've got like 2 people in my network, whereas the actual account, I've got 1. Wait, what?
Well, that's your requests, not
Right.
your. There you go. Look.
I've got 640 unread
Wow,
requests over
640
there.
invitations.
Whereas over here in my other thing, wait, where did I go to? Grow. Where's the grow thing?
This one, my network.
There's 5.
Yeah.
Right. I need to like.
Oh, look, you got 9 connections there.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I'm not. This is not my account, but people keep adding me.
You could have 14 if you accepted these.
I won't. I'm not gonna indulge this. It was I don't even know how to delete it. I want like what I want. I used to sign in with Google, and then I'm like, oh, and I even started like resetting up this LinkedIn, and then I realized, wait, I've already set because I don't. Up until like a year ago, I wasn't even using LinkedIn. Like as far as I was concerned, that was for like getting a job, which I don't
notice. I've noticed more and more people using LinkedIn.
It's the exodus, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it seems like if people who have left Twitter,
the bird site,
some are on Threads, some are on Mastodon, some are on Blue Sky. And
I'm on Blue Sky and I'm on LinkedIn and I've got and YouTube. That's where I really double down is YouTube.
It's just like spread out, and it just feels like there's no one place, no single place for the community. LinkedIn, I don't know. It just feels like
I miss the old heyday when you could just ask anybody a question on Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's put this
old. They're going to say MySpace then for a second.
I didn't know anybody, and certainly didn't know anybody in the industry these days. That's right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
That's me.
Great. Find him. Yeah, trust me. This is a good friend to have. It's been too long.
It has been too long.
Let's do more of this. You know, with the AI and the Java and the users and the groups and it'll be fine. You know. Okay. Thanks everybody. Have a great night. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.